the black.
Yeah, with black numbers.
So you look at that and when it starts streaming, then you jump on there.
Yeah. Well, this is my monitor, since we don't have a screen. That's up.
Ladies and referees, take the field, 1 minute to Sapphire. Ladies and referees, 30 seconds.
It's round 2 of the under-14 boys at the New South Wales Junior State Cup. It's Canberra Brindis taking on Sapphire Coast. Mike Sheen and Jason Stanton with you from Jubilee Park in Wagga. A warm Friday night. It's not quite Friday night lights, but Friday night football from the Riverina. Canberra Brindis to take the opening tap. They're in the predominantly red with the blue bar. Sapphire Coast from the far south coast of New South Wales in the predominantly black kit with the blue and red trim. First time we've seen these boys in action. It's their second match of the weekend. So a bit hard to get an early feed on where they're at. Sapphire Coast coming to the left-hand side of the attack.
It's absolute perfect conditions here.
Yes.
The temperature's really settled down. The track looks good.
We were just talking off air. If we can lock this in for the weekend, we'll be set.
Yeah, and a lot of energy from both teams here. They've come out. I'm not sure if they already had a round one. Is this their second game?
Yeah, this is their second game.
Second game, I think you said. Yeah, so this will be. They've definitely settled in to the tournament. They're ready to go. So it should be really high standard here this evening.
Yeah, Canberra Brindis in the red. It's Sapphire Coast. For those not familiar, that's the far south coast, down around places like Bega and Eden and Marimbula. Beautiful part of the world. Bermagui down in that neighbourhood. A beautiful part of the world on the far south coast of New South Wales. Wouldn't be used to these sweltering conditions unless they've come from the inland part of the district. Canberra a little more accustomed to it, but this is still very tough for everybody.
Yeah, the ball movement's pretty good. It's definitely it feels like every year when we come to these the best of the best events here, these state titles, the standard keeps getting higher, and you can see the young boys here dumping left and right-handed, passing to the right, passing to the left. Definitely got the full repertoire of skills, Mike.
Yeah, they certainly have looked very impressive. I've got to say, overall, the standard of play today has been absolutely outstanding. From all teams, in all grades, in all age groups, they've been high-quality matches. There's rarely been a lemon between them. And it's been highly impressive, the standard of football on display from these boys and girls. As we see Sapphire Coast deciding to take it forward. The number 4 there is Kai Bolton. If I'm not mistaken, I reckon he'd be from Eden, Kai Bolton. Knowing my geography from the region. It's him with the ball and diving. I think he got it down. He did. Kai Bolton opens the account for Sapphire Coast. Looks like they have a spider on their chest there. Sapphire Coast boys.
Yeah, that was a brilliant late switch. We don't see enough of that, and it's something that we're used to be in the game several years ago, where you'd take off, on one direction, then your outside player would switch back, and that they executed that really well. It's almost a bit of a retro try, that one.
Something we wouldn't know anything about, Jason.
No, I forgot. It was so long ago.
Yeah, that's right.
But this is really good to see, and often you see those change-up plays. The defence are not expecting them.
Yeah.
So that was great work there from Sapphire.
Got a penalty to Canberra Brindis here on the 7. On the attack, the number 15 is Jude Leach, and they've forced the error here. Sapphire Coast. Out to an early 1-0 lead. We've had nearly 4 minutes first half. Just setting their line here, Sapphire boys. Bring it up to the 7 for the tap.
Yeah, the other thing we've noticed today, Mike, with the referees, that they've been very well positioned and they've been opening the games up. So can we bottle that and have that for the whole weekend? It's been a really solid start from the referee team as well.
Yeah, that's Jack Mannering in the 14. Having a little bit of trouble distinguishing those numbers on the run. That number 12's Tate Maguire, and the player on the wings, Ryan O'Keefe, in the 11. And we've got an error here from Canberra Brindis. That's, I think that was Tom Pinozzo making the error there.
Yeah,
on the first play.
Yeah, that was a change of possession. So when you start the set of 6, if you're new to the game, it starts with a roll ball unless it's a penalty. And that was a change of possession, but the player got a little bit confused and took the tap thinking it was a penalty. So pretty good spot from the referee. And
good touch there from Canberra Brindis right on their line. Back to the 7 Sapphire Coast, already with a 1-score lead. Nice ball to the outside here. O'Keefe tried to beat his opposite. Gonna play it now, Mannering. That's Tate Maguire. Number 10's Ryder Woods.
Yeah, strong defence there from Canberra.
Now here's a chance for Sapphire Coast, trying to run some inside-outside lines. Callum Orr running them around, showing a clean pair of heels. Eventually the touch made about 5 metres out. Come back to the right. The dive is made. He didn't get through. That'll be the turnover.
Yeah, that's a really good touch. And it seems pretty clear that the Canberra got some younger, maybe some first-year 14s, and they're not overawed at all, Mike. You saw the defence there. Very confident. They're nice and loud indeed. Got their arms up. So,
and just looking at the Sapphire Coast boys, looks like there's a couple there that are coming up from the 12s to the 14s, just by the build and size of them. You'd say they're probably in the bottom end of the age bracket.
And it's credit to their programs to have a bit of a mix of the younger boys coming through, 12, 13, 14, all playing together, and smooth, seamless attack and defence. So that's a good credit. Bit of a shout out to the coaches and the clubs. Really good to see.
That'll be a turnover on the last.
Penalty, I think.
Penalty for throwing the ball away. Seemed a little bit harsh, that call, but the referee was Johnny on the spot.
Yeah, maybe if it was 12 o'clock and 38 degrees, he would let that one go. But now it's cool, and we need all the players to be disciplined, do the right thing.
Just do a quick weather check while we have a moment. Still showing on my screen. It's still showing 37 or thereabouts. So still quite
great
warm.
Feet.
And there's a second for the Sapphire Coast. That's a nice piece of play there from the Coasters. Is he going to give it? No.
I think he might have got touched, but it was a cracking run.
I thought the signal actually might have been that he went over their touchline.
He might have. He's just really good footwork there, left and right, and then showing a good sort of turn of speed too. So it was a cracking run. They may be a bit unlucky not to get the try.
Now they're going to switch here. Sapphire Coast only got 5 on the... Well, they only had 4 in the line for the time being. So they double down. A rare change in possession. Not dumping to the box and working it round. Coming back to the 7 now is the number 7, Jax Probitz. Little shovel ball there, ends up with Probitz on the 7 metre line. The 3 is Brock Banks. Number 8, Nate Bobbin. Familiar name from those parts. And the ball goes to Canberra Brindis, just outside their own 7.
Yeah, change over there for not playing the ball straight on, or square we call it, not being square with the opposition line. So minor error, but referee was onto it, and now Canberra get their chance to use the ball.
Let's see what the Brindis can do with it. Coming back towards halfway. Not going to dump to the box fully this time. The Sapphire Coast player jumped out of the line. That was Kai Bolton. The lone try scorer to date. We've had 8.5 minutes, as you can see. And the ball turned over by Sapphire Coast. Now they have it just short of the 10-metre line. Advancing it will up the field here, Sapphire Coast, really looking sharp. They'll keep it rolling to the right-hand side. That's Bolton. They get it out wide and they'll score on the left-hand side here, Sapphire Coast. A nice piece of play there.
Yeah, that was just on the back of the drive or the roll, like really good rolling down the field, settling, and it almost felt like Canberra couldn't quite handle the speed. Sapphire actually only had five players on the field then. Someone had gone off, but just the sheer speed of the drive, I think, caught Canberra a bit off guard, and now it's 2-0 to the Coast.
They're certainly looking very sharp here, Sapphire Coast, in this first half. Got about 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Second match of the weekend for the boys in the 14s division. The older boys having completed their set of matches earlier today. The 18s, boys and girls, have both rounded out their day early in the piece. Error coming there from Alex Colbert. Couldn't hold on to the ball on that occasion. Again, Sapphire Coast rolling away, but the referee's found a penalty to Canberra.
I think the Canberra coach, I think it's Sinclair Smith, will be eager to have him in there for a break, because Sapphire seems to be growing in confidence and playing better the longer the game's going on.
Yeah.
So Canberra's going to have to make some adjustments, or Sapphire could get away and sort of put a bit of a gap on the scoreboard here.
Todd Bolton in charge of the Sapphire Coast boys. Robert Sinclair Smith at the helm of the Brindis from the capital. They've got the ball now. That's James Frelingos firing out wide. Lucas Kelly with it. Ball goes to ground though. It turned over with about 35 seconds remaining. And they get the penalty here just outside their own 7. So they roll forward once again. Sapphire Coast showing nice composure here. That's Brock Banks. Looking quite sharp here. Sapphire Coast, Jack Mannering. Dare say he's an older age player in the age bracket. Probably looking at moving up to the 16s next year, but with this crop coming through, a lot to deal with. It's the last play. Mannering told to go the unders line. They wanted the overs there. The touch was made on Banks, and the referee says that's time, boys. Go and have a breather. It's half time here at Jubilee Park. Sapphire Coast out 2-0 in this under-14 boys Division 2 match. And I think it's fair to say Sapphire Coast have been quite impressive.
Yeah, they've been. I thought they genuinely built throughout the half. They didn't look overly strong early, but they just tended to roll a bit better, defend a bit better, get a bit more confidence. That's why I was hoping Canberra can have a bit of a reset here and come back at them, because I think Sapphire Coast have definitely got another couple gears in them, I think.
Certainly looks like the Coast boys have they've spread that team well. It looks like a good spread of ages from the 12s, 13s and 14s between them. And Todd Bolton, the coach there, the assistant is Patrick Maloney. While Robert Sinclair Smith having a chat to the team for Canberra. Matthew Pang, his manager. He's having a chat to the two huddles. They're about to break and return for the second half of this one.
30 seconds. Please take the field.
Prepare for this.
I haven't checked the draw, but I think you mentioned this was game 2, so
yeah.
I think most of the divisions would have the 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, so I can tell you.
How did Sapphire go earlier, Mike?
They recorded a 7-5 win over Leeton, over the Lightning, while UNSW were too good for Canberra Brindy, 4-0. in their matches earlier this afternoon. They're only early in the season or in the competition for these two teams. Their next match will be tomorrow morning. They're first up on the park. Canberra Brindy take on Penrith at 8 a.m. Sapphire Coast meet Milton Ulladulla. And I think we get a glimpse at the boys. No, we don't. I thought we had a look at them early tomorrow, but we don't.
Yeah, pretty sharp play there from Sapphire to start the second half there. I think it was Banks in there, Banks and Bolton there, putting a nice little play together. But Canberra were up to the task.
So we see the Canberra side on the attack.
And this is last touch coming there. So I think Sapphire will be looking to be a bit more consistent and and continue their build in the second half here. I think Canberra got to control the ball a little bit better and probably get up and down the field a little bit better than what they did in the first half. So I'm sure the coaches were across that. It'll be interesting to see whether they can execute that in the second half.
Sapphire Coast in the black if you've just joined us, or the dark strip. Canberra Brindy's in the predominantly red. Nice ball there, but well read by Bodie Noble-Stack from Sapphire Coast, the number 5 in the cap on the wing there. Inside him was Billy Hughes, the number 6. And they roll to the left-hand side. Good touch made on Jacob Mand for Canberra Brindis, and they force a turnover. Here's Sapphire Coast. As you said, they just seem a little bit sharper. The Sapphire Coast boys just seem a little bit more switched on, a little bit sharper in their attack. Here's a chance for Sapphire Coast, and he's through and he's over. The few Sapphire Coast fans that are here are celebrating a third to the coast.
I think the last time he scored, they called it back, but he wasn't to be denied that time.
I think that was,
I actually didn't get the number. It might have been Woods. It's a little bit hard to read, but I definitely got a sore neck as my head flicked across to try and catch up with him. He was absolutely flying.
Yes, he was off and gone at a rate of knots.
Yeah, and when you see that sort of speed, Mike, that's when you're glad you're retired, because you can't keep up with the young talent coming through. That was lightning.
Well beyond my years in this age bracket. I've got children in this age bracket, so I know how fast they can move. And I'm glad I'm long gone out of the sports scene, because I wouldn't be able to stand a chance trying to keep up with these kids.
Yeah, the other thing that just sort of popped to mind now that you mentioned that Sapphire won their earlier game today is that I think they're a brand new affiliate to this event and stepping up to this level. So that makes that earlier result and the way they've put their squad together here even more impressive. So they're definitely going to be one to watch, and it's great to see touch continuing to grow.
Certainly is. Here's another chase down the eastern touchline. That was a great run there to the Brindis 10.
Yeah, that was Banks, I think. There, he's another flyer.
Greased lightning, this Sapphire Coast side. I'm not sure what they're feeding them down on the coast. Must be the fresh seafood in that area. There he's through and he's in. That was far too easy.
It's just speed, and more speed. I think this Sapphire Touch Club's doubling up as the Sapphire Athletics Club down there. They've got speed and talent to burn right across the park.
They certainly do. That makes it 4-0 to the coast. And they are looking dominant in this 14 boys age bracket.
Yeah, Canberra trying to stick with them, but I think they're looking up, and they've got Banks and Bolton and Hughes, and there just seem to be so many attacking weapons, Mike.
Yeah, I think we'll be seeing the Coast boys, or there's a good chance we'll see them come Sunday and finals day. There's a good chance we'll see them in finals action. Turn that off there. Good touch there from the Sapphire Coast in defence, only a few metres out from the line. That was Frilingos making the run. That's a familiar name in rugby league circles, the Frilingos name. As we see number 6 in Yanni Stefopoulos. Not able to keep it in the field of play. He goes out, and in fact, that wasn't Stefopoulos, that was Edward Hassel in the 5.
Yeah, that was better from Canberra. A little bit more energy then. They had really good set. A lot of noise coming from the box. And
Mannering into space. Big James Mannering charging downfield. They won't catch him. And the big swan dive into the corner makes it 5 for the Coast. They're running away with this one.
yeah, Sapphire, a lot of skill across the park. So when they control the ball and they have that fast ball movement, it enables the leg speed then to kick in, which is probably, I think we did mention it earlier, Sapphire had a couple gears in them and they've come out and put on 3 quick ones. So hopefully Canberra can regroup here and get back in the match.
So Brindis trail by 5, still about 6 minutes remaining in this one. Up next, the under-12 girls competition. Orange Thunder taking on Canberra City Magic. I know there's a lot of interest in the Canberra City side. A lot of the Canberra City faithful have made the trip from the capital to the Riverina for this weekend. So a shout out to all the families watching back home, wherever that might be. In this case, it's in the capital and down in the far south coast, the bottom corner of New South Wales, if you like. That whole area. This time of year, it's a spectacular place to visit, just quietly. Not in tourism, but if you're looking for a weekend away or a bit of time off, you'd do a lot worse than head down to the Bega Valley and Sapphire Coast this time of year. We'll see penalty.
Nice strong set previously from Canberra. They're hanging in there. They're very resilient. It's good to see. Continually asking questions of the Sapphire defence.
Which is what they'd want to see. Matthew Pang, Robert Sinclair Smith and the coaching staff, even though they're not going to get the victory this evening, they'd like to see them ask a few questions and test the Sapphire Coast. If they can post one before the final whistle, that'll be an achievement for them. Looking sharp here on the 7. That's Ashton Scott with it. Trying to step through the line.
Yeah, they've definitely got lots of ability there. I know they didn't score in the first game and they haven't scored here, but there's some really positive signs there, and I think they're going to keep getting better each game throughout the weekend. Yeah. Let's hopefully get a bit of confidence out of this one. A try here would be nice.
Yeah, it certainly would be good to see a score late for the Brindis to give them just a little bit of confidence. They'd like to get one on the board. The ball goes down at the wrong moment.
Yeah, they should get the ball again here because Sapphire were quite static. They weren't really moving up. So let's see whether Canberra can come up with something here. But definitely there's been little pockets of really solid touch footy. So let's see if they can put that together.
Now the Brindis on the attack, camped inside the 7 of Sapphire Coast here. Looking to see if they can post one more before the final whistle. Take the play in centre field. They'll come to the right. That's a poor pass. And it's dummy half, and they'll quickly play it on the 7, Sapphire Coast, looking to get up the other end. Still about 3 minutes and change remaining in this one. Sapphire Coast comfortably in front 5-0 and look like they could add more points. Touch made over the halfway line as they reload with some quick changes on the side. They're going to ring the changes short and sharp. Ball to the outside for Joshua Savage. Haven't called his name much tonight. Savage, he's with the ball now, showing it. Most dangerous player on the field is the one with the ball. Savage, a good run there.
They hung off him a little bit there. You don't want to do that too often.
No.
He looked sharp.
Again, Sapphire Coast making changes when they see fit, not a move to the box to make wholesale changes. They'll dump and they'll change players when needed. That's a good touch there from Sapphire Coast. Canberra Brindis just seem a little bit flat, trying to get out of their own end.
Yeah, for those that haven't watched a lot of touch football, sometimes a little bit deceptive because the game's so quick, and we often coach the players to be passing the ball out in front of the of the player that's running onto it, and if they don't know we're passing it or they get a bit of a misread and stand still, it looks like you're throwing the ball to no one. So sometimes it's a little bit tricky to pick up what's happening, but the game's so quick that often you see brilliance, or sometimes you just see the ball on the ground and say, how'd that happen?
Yeah, sometimes you do. Stretch ahead and wonder. Sapphire Coast on the attack inside the 7. They've got numbers to the right-hand side. There's a man out marked out there. He just come onto the field but couldn't hold on to it. About 90 seconds remaining in this boys' match, the under-14s. So Sapphire Coast will record a second victory in quick succession. I'll move into the Saturday phase, certainly on the back of some good results for them. The Brindis certainly have a lot of work to do, but they'll be looking to complete and compete in the coming matches over the weekend.
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of energy around the Sapphire group, particularly being a new affiliate. They start off the state titles with two wins.
We see the Brindis on the attack. That's Frelingos pushing forward. Now Canberra trying to spark something in the final 30 seconds. There's Frelingos taking it straight up the middle. Did he get it down? I think he did, yes. Frelingos is in. There's one for the Canberra side. That's what they wanted.
And you can hear the crowd beside us and a lot of energy in the boxes. The Brindis get their first try in this year's State Cup. Well done, Canberra.
Well done to the squad. First score of the weekend. I'm sure it won't be the last. It'll be the last score of this game with only seconds remaining, although Mannering trying to step his way through the line. There's the siren in the background. This will be the final play. Can they finish it off? I thought the touch was made. Yes. Looks like the touch was made, and there's the final whistle. So 5-1 is the final score. Sapphire Coast too good for Canberra Brindis in that under-14 boys match. Up next in about 5 minutes' time, the under-12 girls take to the field. It's Orange Thunder and Canberra City Magic. Stay with us for that here on Bar TV Sports. Getting that through the website.